What's going on, friend? If you are seeing this video, there is a great chance that you just joined the nutrition coaching program, and I could not be more excited for you. So I'm excited to get to work. And this video is a short little introduction on how to use Google Drive, because that's the main platform that we're going to be using to share documents and do our check-in forms. And I'll have you do assessments and things like that on there. So I'm actually going to share my screen here for a minute. And um, part of your welcome email series will be a link to your specific Google Drive folder, which you and only you will have access to. And in here, you'll see different folders and things like that. The most important thing before our first coaching call is to access your Google Drive folder, obviously, but to fill out and complete the initial assessment form. You'll probably see it by itself or with the letter to yourself document that I will also have you complete, but more on that later. Once you are in your Google Drive folder, you'll see that initial assessment form. Please do your best and fill this out. Take some time on it. This is just going into a little more detail on stuff that I can't ask you on our first call when we're deciding if we're a good fit for each other or not. But just all things about past nutrition history, your biofeedback, more specific goals that you're looking for, your mindset, just some questions and things like that that I really want you to be honest with me about, be honest with yourself about, so we can have a good starting point when we do get on our first coaching call together and we kind of continue to proceed. So this initial assessment is extremely important. So please have this filled out at least 24 hours before our first coaching call. Now, when we do get on our coaching calls, every week, weeks will look different depending on where we start in the goals and the things that we're working on in that given moment. But a form that you will see often is this behavioral goals check-in sheet, or this behavioral goals coaching sheet, sorry. And this is where me personally, when we're on our calls every week, I'm going to be modifying this and creating new ones. So we are both understanding of what our goals are for that specific week and what we're particularly focusing on. And this is where you can always refer back to. I'll be honest, my most successful clients check this form at least every day, every other day, to check in with themselves between our coaching calls, because this is the way to hold yourself accountable. Obviously, you and I will be getting on the phone and you'll be part of the Slack community and things like that. So there will be other accountability sources, but this is specifically made for you, and you can use this as much or as little as you want. But again, I want to give you a heads up, like my most successful clients check in with this. They fill this out religiously, and they check in with themselves every single week, even when you and I are not checking in with each other every single day. So goals in here will be like, our macro prescription. Can't type right now. Macro prescription, and maybe I'll have our calorie goals, protein goals, water goal, hydration goal for the day. Maybe we'll have step goals in here. Maybe we're working on particular things like getting breakfast in every day, starting the day off with 30 grams of protein. Goals can come in a lot of different, shapes and sizes, but the purpose of this is to have tangible goals that we are striving for day to day or week to week. And it's really about the behavioral goals that will allow you to be successful long-term. If we hyper focus on outcome goals, right, like weight loss or body fat percentage or skeletal muscle mass or a type of feeling or energy, how your body looks, like that takes a while, and it's a process to get to that. But it's the behaviors and the things that you do every single day, day in, day out, that will allow you to feel the results and to see the results of the things that you're looking for. So, hyper focusing on the outcome goal is a great way of minimizing your success and taking away from kind of the bigger picture, which is making small changes to complement your lifestyle. And having these small changes, the byproduct of your outcome goals are going to be these small changes. So being able to stick with these and honestly, these are going to be behaviors and things that you do long after you and I are done working with each other to help keep the weight off, or to help keep your physique the way it is when we get it to where you want it to be, and so forth. So the behavioral goals tracker sheet is super important. I want you to check it out every day, every other day. Maybe it's before our calls, you go in and fill it out, but be honest with yourself, check in with yourself, because this is a great way to hold yourself accountable, even when you and I are not talking on the phone. So you will see this every week. What I recommend is on your phone, you can get the Google Drive app on your phone. It's super easy. Log in, and then you can see all these forms in here. So you can have it on your phone rather than having to like go to a computer or a laptop or tablet or something and trying to check in with that at the end of the day, or at the end of the week. So having it on your phone, I found, is so much more convenient. But this is where we will keep track of our goals and what we're focusing on week to week to week. Okay, so keep that in mind. The last form that I really want to go over is this other form, is the check-in form, which is I would argue, one of the most important forms that we're going to have week to week, because this is where you get to, again, be honest with yourself, be honest with me, check in with how your progress was this last week, what you felt good about, what you didn't feel good about, where you think you could potentially make changes. You're going to tell me about your biofeedback, how your energy is, how your sleep is, what your mood is like, hunger, sex drive, stress, like all things that are super important for me to understand prior to us going into a coaching call. So we can kind of start that call off the right foot, and we don't have to take time like, okay, yeah, how was your sleep this week? How was your food this week? How was your energy after workouts? Like, this is all stuff that you completing prior to our calls is going to give us a head start on those calls. So this check-in form is super important. And before every call, every coaching call that we have, I want you to complete this, preferably a day in advance. If you fill it out a few hours beforehand, I usually check them within an hour or two before we get on our calls. So keep that in mind. But this check-in form will be something that you see every week. And it's something that's super important because it gives you an opportunity to check in with yourself. It allows me to gain a little bit more insight on how your week went. And again, it gives us a starting point for our call, and it can kind of help carry that momentum into the next week and so forth. So check-in form is super important. Behavioral goals are super important, because that's where we're going to document what we're working on week to week and what specific goals that we're really thinking about at that time. And then obviously the initial assessment is going to be something that you only do once, but before we get on our first coaching call, please have that form filled out for me so we can gather a good starting point, and really head into the program with a full head of steam. So hope this makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't, as always, and welcome to your new Google Drive folder. Okay, this is going to be where I post a lot of other stuff. I keep history of stuff, uploading different assessments and forms and maybe workout programming, things like that. Like, you're going to see everything in here. So this is going to be our hub. So just wanted to give you a brief introduction of what that actually looked like. So I will see you on the next video. I hope you're doing well today. Talk soon. Peace.